It's the Tony Kinnett Cast on 93 WIPC.
Just a curbside prophet with my hand in my pocket.
So,
waiting for my rocket to go.
I'm going to level with you guys just a little bit if we can actually keep the network up for a few minutes. Someone was trying to get just it looks like a little bit cuddly with our internet access, and so we've hopefully righted that and back on the air. Just a few quick things to point out, though. I usually really don't care for kind of like political movies, and I really don't care for a lot of movies that come from let's say like pointed advocacy standpoints. I really don't care for a lot of like Christian studio movies because they're not as good as like regular kind of like Hollywood movies. The story may be great, the heart may be there, it might even be okay. Like you watch it in the theater and you're like, yeah, okay. And then you never really ever watch it again because it was like, it was good, but not good enough to watch again. I think that if you're going to make a good movie, it needs to be able to be watched again. And I found myself in that particular situation this week when I was flying down to Nashville. So the Daily Wire has been making a really big deal over the last couple of months about this documentary by Matt Walsh, this mockumentary, called Am I Racist?, in which Matt Walsh dresses up in a disguise, which is literally an illy fitting wig and with a man bun, and then goes around pretending to be a diversity, equity, and inclusion, a DEI expert, and basically gets all of these critical race theorists to say the quiet part out loud. The kind of stuff that some of those out here, like us, who had basically been whistleblowing this kind of junk back in the 2020 and 2021, that we've been saying has been going on. Everyone said, no one ever actually says that behind closed doors. Well, Walsh went actually to go and prove it. And so I'd been sent the screener, and which is just a little preview. Sometimes it's like a 2/3 cut, sometimes it's a full cut of the movie, just in case I thought maybe it was newsworthy and worthy of a segment. And I said, well, I've covered Walsh's judged show earlier this year, so probably won't do an article on it, but I'll watch it because, it's kind of connecting to my career. So I ended up watching it, and it was one of the funniest things I have seen in a very, very long time. The last time I think that I actually saw something that was this funny, I think it was probably close to Napoleon Dynamite, just in how sheerly nuts some of this stuff was that was going on in this mockumentary. It definitely gave off some Office vibes at times, only this was with real people. And then I was invited down for the premiere, so flew down to Nashville on Monday, finished watching the screener, and did a couple of interviews with some people on the red carpet, or for them, the black carpet, nice, as they were going into the movie. And then I watched the movie again, and I really wasn't looking forward to it because I thought, well, I don't like really watching these kind of movies over again. I had an absolute blast. This is a movie to see in theaters. There are very few times when I tell you need to go and see something. Go to Am I Racist? Find tickets at your local theater. There are like 1,500 theaters all around the country, because it is a phenomenal movie. Especially with a packed theater, you'll be laughing. It is a great, great movie. And it really is just the funniest nonsense. I recognize some of the people in the movie. That's all I'm going to say at this particular point in time. But this brings together an interesting light, and these are some of the questions that I tried to ask those on the red carpet, or the black carpet, or whatever, at the premiere. The first that I really wanted to get the best answer on is, how do you balance doing a comedy and a documentary? Because this is both. Because if you go too far, you get really cringy and it gets kind of rough. So I started out by asking Ben Shapiro just what it was specifically that you had to do in order to make this work. Here was my question, his answer.
Dealing with comedy and satire, it's kind of a fine balance, right? Because you've got like Upton Sinclair and like exposing the gross stuff in the 20s, and then it kind of took a harsher tint later on. How are you guys bridging the gap between making entertainment that's good and kind of cringy, that still has substance?
Well, I mean, honestly, all props to Matt and to Justin Folk and to all the people who worked on the film, because it is a really, really difficult task. And you mentioned sort of muckrakers of the past, and everything that they did was very serious and gritty. Yeah. And the truth is that society has become so serious and gritty. Everybody is so sort of depressed that making people laugh at a thing is a quality that we've lost over time. And it's a really important quality, because sometimes it's really important just to be able to look at a dumb thing, expose it for being a dumb thing, and then laugh at the thing.
I mean, even the comedies on SNL, everyone's like, their shoulders are all tense.
Exactly.
It's so weird.
No one laughs at anything anymore. Making jokes, everybody has to think 3 times about making the joke. So being able to actually just say, listen, this is stupid. And I'm not even going to say it's stupid, which is what Matt says. I'm not even going to say it's dumb. I'm going to sit here, and you're just going to watch this person, and you're going to realize how stupid this is. And they're going to expose themselves. It's an amazing thing. And listen, Matt does something really audacious in the film, which is he actually acts, which is an amazing thing. Again, something I couldn't do. He has a skill set. I don't know anybody else in the movement who has it, and he deserves every piece of credit he gets, for sure.
So I also got the same kind of a response, actually, from the actor Kirk Cameron, and kind of a same response, but kind of a different perspective on the answer here.
Comedy, right? Take a documentary and tackle a totally difficult subject like DEI and expect not to get shot on the way out from the theater to the parking lot. Very serious question, of course.
Well, I would have said have great security, like Secret Service, but even that has its chinks in the armor.
Too many sloped roofs around here.
Too many sloped roofs. But at the end of the day, I think that we're going to see the way that you tackle a topic like DEI with humor and do it effectively, with class, with fidelity to the truth, and use comedy and satire in a way that is not obnoxious and arrogant, because some are brash with it and it's off-putting. But I think we're going to see how it's done tonight with Matt Walsh's movie, Am I a Racist?
So really good take. I appreciated, kind of the ideas behind it. And that drove me to really asking a question from the Daily Wire CEO, Jeremy Boring. They're doing a lot of stuff down there right now in Nashville. They're doing a razor manufacturing company. They are selling chocolate. They're selling candles. They're doing several different kinds of shows. They're doing documentaries. They're doing children's content. They're doing like full live action shows about dragons and all other kinds of crazy stuff. It's a lot on their plate. A lot. And so I wanted to ask this question to Jeremy Boring for a heck of a long time. And I wasn't going to let a premiere of something totally different get in the way from that. So here is the answer. How on God's green earth do you do all of this stuff and do it well?
As a business guy, you're hitting on a lot of fronts all at the same time, right? You're doing the own business ventures, right? You're tackling the media industry, kids stuff, comedy stuff, serious stuff. How do you balance making really good content with also making content that keeps all of your people employed? I mean, obviously, if you build it, they'll come, but sorry if that's not as worded as freshly as it could be.
No, it's a great question. And I actually think that it isn't true that if you build it, they will come. I think that's like proof of the power of culture is that we all say that because of a movie. But in my business experience, what I've come to realize is it's not enough to build it. You have to build it well. And it's not enough to build it well. You have to build it well and then tell people about it. And so part of our vision when we started the Daily Wire was let's create a marketing machine that's capable of taking our content, capable of taking our ideas, and actually getting people to engage with it. Being able to bypass all the middlemen who historically would have prevented us from getting those messages out there, from getting that content out there, from getting those products out there.
So it's all a marketing game, and that seems to have worked so far. Now, there's a lot of other great moments from the premiere, and we'll be releasing a video soon that kind of goes more in depth. Of course, the Daily Wire has amassed a large pool of talent. Of course, their comedy trio from Lady Ballers was there. I did notice that they were dressed kind of like the Saturday Night Live sketch night at the Roxbury. So, pointing that out was a very important part of my work.
So wait a minute, can I get all three of you?
Oh, at the same time.
I will give you $50 right now if we can do the night at the Roxbury. Oh, like. I'm just saying. I mean, it really is all three. I've never been more proud of the three of you than I am right now. I know.
So we'll dig into that in another video. But one thing I did want to share with you guys before we cut and go to the next segment is Matt Walsh. A lot of people ask questions, why did you do this? Did you think it was funny? I, however, have worked with some of the goobers in this movie. I don't mean those exposing the junk, they're not goobers. Those who are peddling the kind of racial garbage that white people are inherently evil and people with different skin colors are inherently virtuous and that everything is systemically terrible, all that garbage. What I wanted to know was he was able to get Robin DiAngelo and many other really terrible people on camera for interviews and got them to say stupid things. I wanted to know, what's the one that got away? Because I had people that I wanted to see on screen that didn't. There's, only so many, so little time. Here's the one that got away, and I cackled in the idea of thinking about this one.
Who was the one that got away on this project? I know there are a lot of grifters out there you could have gotten. Was the one that was like right on the hook, that was so close? Please tell me it was Dr. Gloria Ladson-Billings.
I don't know about, look, we named the grifter and we tried to get him, but they're kind of hard to get. We went after Ibram X. Kendi, but he's very cautious.
Anyone that was close, just like almost had him?
I don't know if I want to. We did try Kaepernick.
No.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I don't know. We were in conversation, and that would have been great. Because what I really wanted to do with that scene was just comfort him for everything he's gone through, being a multimillionaire.
Give him a pack of knee pads or something, or
I just wanted to be there for him in this difficult time of being a millionaire or celebrity.
Are we all?
Yeah.
You really need to go see this. Seriously, I will probably be going to see it again with some friends and family. It really is worth watching a couple of times. I have not been able to say this about a movie, much less a political movie, in an extremely long time. Go see this one. The Reagan movie's good. I'll get around to seeing it eventually. I've heard really good things. Go see Am I Racist by Matt Walsh. And by the way, it's selling out in theaters now. That's how good it is. And really, it's fantastic. I've watched it twice. I'm going to watch it again, likely this weekend. Because I'm mad that I can't quote this garbage to my wife. That's another thing. It's been a long time since millennials have had something to quote. You know what I'm talking about. You know that you'd go to school the next day and you'd have the movie quotes you all would repeat over and over and over again. This is one of those movies. Go see it. It's fantastic. We'll have a lot more on our red carpet interviews a little bit later. By the way, I've never done red carpet interviews before. So if I seemed out of my element, I absolutely was. I'm still figuring out how you do the microphone canceling out the voices in a loud room. That's right. You thought I was perfect? Ha! Fooled you. I'm still figuring this crap out. And that means up next, it's time for a little bit of mail time because we've got some questions. We're going to answer them. Stick around. It's the Tony Kinnett Cast on the Daily Signal, nationally syndicated, and first on 93 WIBC.